What's up, everybody? Welcome to Discovering Nicole, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. Today, we're having a special guest speaker on. That's right. Rec Addy is going to join us to share his experience, strength, and hope tonight. For those of you guys that don't know Rec, he just recently joined the recovery community, or at least I just recently found him. And he shares his recovery journey here on TikTok. And he literally inspires me so much. My friend Ryan actually pointed him out to me. And I went over and watched some of his content, you guys. And he's doing really well. New visitor. And so the other night I messaged him and told him, hey, if you're comfortable with it and you would like to, I would love to have you on to share your story. And so he did some research. He watched my content a little bit and he decided he would come and do it. So tonight's the night, baby. What we're going to do is I need you guys to share the video, like the video, and invite your friends. Okay? Share the video, like the video, and invite your friends. Let's get a big audience in here ready for Rec to welcome him and show him some Discovering Nicole recovery love and show him that we're excited to have him on the show. For those of you guys that might miss the show live, don't worry. I will upload it onto my YouTube channel after we're done with the video, okay? I want you guys to know that I love making content and I love inspiring others. And I hope through these videos where I have people on to interview them, I really hope it inspires you guys if you're struggling. And I want you to know that you can reach out to me or Rec anytime. Both of our DMs are open. Okay? Good, he's live. Okay. So I'm going to grab him on here. Please, you guys, come on, do me a favor. Like the video, invite your friends, share it around, baby. Share it around. I'm going to do the same thing. And let me go grab Rec. I'm excited. I love having people on. What's up?
What's up, girl?
Are you excited?
Yes, I'm always excited. How are you doing today? How was your day?
Dude, I had the best day today. I went to share my story for Ryan, and when I tell you, it fed my soul. It fed my soul. I got done sharing, and then he called me, and he told me how everybody reacted, and it made me feel so amazing. I needed that. You know what I'm saying? I needed that. So, but this is not about me. This is about you, okay? So,
I guess.
I was put onto your content. Ryan pointed me to your content, and I went over there and started peeping on you and checking it out. And I really like what you're about. You're like me. You are genuine. You want to help people. You are love recovery, and you're serious about it. And I like that. So this is what we're going to do. It's super simple. All you got to do is take the lead. I want you to share with us what it was like when you were a kid growing up. Were your parents married? Did they get a divorce? Were you an only child? Did you have problems in school? Then transition us into the first time you ever tried drugs and maybe what your experience was like and how it affected you, and then how bad it got, and then take us to the end about how you got sober and what your life is like now. And I will let you take over. If I have any questions, I'll kind of just, like that.
Right, please just jump in.
I will.
This is a tall order right here, though. So
You're going to do great.
normally when I
know it. You said you're going to do great. I know it.
All right, yeah. So normally when I do talk about myself or my story, I rarely talk about the active addiction part. Like you're better off catching me besides this here, you're better off catching me in a one-on-one conversation about my stories, just because most of the message of recovery, most of the potency is coming from my active recovery versus my active addiction. But when in Rome, do as Romans do. And I'm happy that you got me here. So I am originally from Youngstown, Ohio, born in 1990. So I'm a 90s baby. I grew up with my mother, my single mom, and my three sisters. So I was always the only boy. Always the man of the house per se, always the protector and things like that. Grew up in the hood. All of my male role models were in the streets. You know what I mean? Like everything that I looked up to, everything that I valued in life as a child up until my adult years came from hustlers. You know what I'm saying? People
Yeah.
who were in active addiction, but it wasn't called that back then. It wasn't. You smoke weed, you drink liquor, you kick it. It
Right.
was kind of a social thing. You know what I mean? So I always wanted to be grown. I was always trying to be a little more advanced than where I was. I always seeing the big dogs. I always wanted to be a big dog. So that's kind of what I idolized growing up, selling drugs, being around drugs. Now that is not to say my mom kept me in church. Like mom, church, the Bible, Christianity, all of that. But that was Sundays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. The rest of the days of the week, we was with the family for the most part. And we was in the hood, we was in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I kind of got like a dual, I don't know how to call it, like dual values, you know what I'm saying? Dual beliefs. Like I believed in and doing good. I believed in loving people. I believed that karma was real. But in the same breath, it was dog eat dog, get it how you live, don't let nobody disrespect you, and
Yeah.
things like that. So when I was, I believe I was 14, best summer of my life still to this day.
Awesome.
Summer
I
of
love that.
'04, summer of '04 is when I first started really doing drugs, smoking weed. I was with my uncle a lot that summer, so I was selling a little dope then, trying to be grown, trying to do my thing. So I started drinking, I started smoking at 14, and that's kind of when I got exposed to weed and being high, being intoxicated, moon and mind altering substances, things like that.
Yeah.
And hi Pootie, like my sister in here. Hi Pooh. What's up,
Hey,
Christina? How
sister.
y'all see y'all here?
Hey, I
All
gotta
right,
ask you a
so
question real fast. So,
yeah,
can I ask you, like, because you're a man and you're also African American, so I don't have the same experience you had, right? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So, when you were young and you were starting to smoke, like, who was introducing you to the smoke? Was it the big guys that were hustling on the streets? And how did they teach you to like start selling, or did you just like say, "Oh, I'm going to start doing that"? Like, can you kind of explain it a little bit? You know?
Yeah, okay, okay. So, like I mentioned before, like my role models were in the streets. My uncle, my cousins, they were selling drugs, smoking, drinking, and anytime I was at their house, like it was always fun. Like they were always partying, kicking it, having a good time. So what I seen was good time, weed, liquor, that's fun. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I said, so that's why I was always like kind of anxious or thirsty to kind of engage in that kind of behavioral activity. Now, the first time I ever sold dope, I was with my uncle at his house, and he wasn't championing me on to sell. Like he really was just trying to keep me away from it. But I was in the trap house. I was in the dope house. I seen people coming to the door, and then I got curious. I remember my sister's dad I was asking him like, yo, what they keep coming to the door for? Like, what they doing? He like, oh, they buying crack. They, boom, boom. So I took it upon myself to go in the cupboard in the kitchen, and I believe it's my sister's dad. He was telling me like, yeah, this is it. You give them this, they give you $10, and boom, 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 like
Hmm.
that. So from the time I seen that, not seen it, but from the time I got that knowledge from what it was on the plate and to how to transaction, before my uncle got home, I had sold the whole plate. Like I had sold everything on the plate. When he came home, I had a pocket full of money. I took him out on the porch. I'm like, yo, da da da. And he took the money. He looked at me and he was like, hey, this serious right here. Like you telling me you want to do this, yada yada yada. All right, we're gonna make it official. So then I started getting my own little package or whatever, and I thought I was the man. Now I only did it for that summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was 14. You know what I'm saying? I was going into high school, freshman in high school, and all I wanted was a PlayStation 2. Like back then, the PlayStation
Yeah.
2s was coming out. Like I really didn't. I really didn't make the connection between dope boy and dope life. You know what I'm saying? Like drug life. I just seen a way to make some money, look cool, and now that I'm selling this, now I get to smoke weed and drink some liquor with the big dogs.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my introduction as far as like selling dope and really regularly being able to smoke and drink and just kick it with the adults, the guys that I idolize. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So like I said, I didn't make that a career choice or a habit at that time. But what did stick with me was the smoking and drinking, being intoxicated, the moon and mind altering substances, and that's how I learned how to kick it, how to have fun. You know what I mean? Like from that point on until my crack addiction was full blown. It wasn't a good day. The sun wasn't shining. I wasn't in a good mood unless I was smoking weed.
Yeah.
Not so much drinking. You know, I could go with or without the drinking, but the weed is what kind of latched on to me. You know what I mean?
I was the same
So
way
that's
with weed when
yeah,
I was younger. Yeah.
yep. So from there on, my love affair with marijuana kind of blossomed and took its course then. So that's kind of how I became an addict before like it started to ruin my life. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
fast. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And what it did was weed kept me lazy. You know, it kept me always expecting to feel some kind of way. When I was mad, I smoked. When I was happy, I smoked. If I felt any kind of way, if I wanted to loosen up or have a little confidence, I just drank a little bit of liquor, or you know what I mean? Like it just became part of my identity, part of my personality.
Yeah.
And I wasn't trying to do anything without it, you know. And for the longest time, like people around me kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Enabled that kind of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Not me per se, but like I could always go to my mom from like 18 to 25, 26 and be like, Mom, I'm having a bad day. Can I get $10 for some weed? You know, I don't want to get out here and act up. Can I, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and, and she always was like, yeah, all right, I get you a little bit of weed. You go ahead and sit down somewhere, calm your nerves, boy. You know what I mean? So it was the mindset. It was, I need this for whatever I was feeling.
In your
You
family,
know?
like, did you guys ever talk about like addiction or struggling with addiction? Because I know in my family, on my Mexican side of my family, like you just, in my Italian side, you just shake it off, you handle it, you, if you got a problem, you rise above it. You don't whine about it, you just take it head on, and you don't talk about it. Is that the way it
Right.
is in your culture too?
Yeah, kind of. What I can say is I learned the stigma of addiction through the streets. Now, my mom did have a few conversations with me like, yo, this ain't what you want to do. This ain't never gonna be, you know what I'm saying, cool. Like my mom never smoked. My mom never did any kind of drugs. She didn't drink. Like I said, she was real heavy in the church, and so were we.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like, at home that's where it was all happening. So whenever my mom did talk about it, it was just more of the negative consequence part of it. Like, don't do it because it's gonna be like this. Or you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
but back then I wasn't really paying attention to that. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom has always been cautious. She's always been kind of, so I just shrugged that off like, oh my, you scared of this, you scared of that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I really can't take your words heavy. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
they didn't hold weight for me as far as deterring me from smoking weed or doing this or doing that. Yeah, for sure. But my actual drug addiction, the crack addiction, didn't start until I believe maybe 22,
Mm-hmm.
2012, 2011. But the first time I ever did it, I was 19 or 20, and I was living in Virginia. I had moved down there. I think my mom had moved down there, and I had moved down there with her. I had been down there prior before, moved back to Ohio, and she had ended up moving down there for a while. So I went down there. Um, our relationship was kind of like, I'm just like her, so she's stubborn, I'm stubborn. She got a strong opinion, I got a strong opinion. So I wasn't able to live with her too long down there. So I started living with other people. I started, moving around, trying to do my own thing and be grown. And I remember she had left Virginia, and I was down there, and I want to say I was kind of homeless, like partially homeless, maybe a little bit. And I ended up meeting this guy, this white guy, man. Like in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock in the morning, he was coming out of somebody's apartment, man, and like he was like super drunk, like he was messed up. But I could tell that he had a lot of money. Like he had a lot of money. And he
Yeah.
like, yo, I can't find my phone. I can't find this. I can't, can you help me? I gave him my phone, let him make his calls. He ended up inviting me to his crib. After we had talked, we was waiting on a taxi or something like that. So we had time to talk. And he invited me to his crib. I ended up going over there. And yeah, dude had money. And he was like, I got my people on the way. He gonna bring me some of this. He gonna bring me some of that. You're more than welcome. Yada yada yada. And me just, I didn't really care at this point. Like I told you before, I always knew the stigma in the hood of quote unquote crackheads. Like I
Right.
sold dope. I was around the drug dealers. I saw how they treated people who smoke crack, and I saw how they looked down on them. Like it was just nothing good as far as perception wise came from that.
Yep.
But where I was at in that time of my life, I didn't have no weed. I knew the power of masking my emotions or how I was feeling with drugs came. So I was just down to do anything. And that was the first time I ever smoked crack in my life. Was with, I ain't gonna call him rich, but with somebody who was super successful with it.
Yeah.
So it was it he didn't embody none of the negative connotations of a crackhead. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I believe that's what made me a little more comfortable with doing it. Fast forward maybe 2 years or something like that. I ended up doing it again, but I was back home in Ohio, and I believe it was with my uncle. I want to say we was driving my mother to Georgia. My mother was moving to Georgia, and me and my uncle ended up driving the U-Haul down there, or either driving the U-Haul or we was just driving with her. However it went, we ended up ducking off, and he was putting it in like blunts. We call them
Oh.
primos,
Mm-hmm.
or woolies. We call them primos or woolies, and that's when I really started doing it consistent. You know what I mean? And from there, it was just a whirlwind. Like weed wasn't enough. It didn't hit as hard as this did. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Like I felt different, completely different doing this than smoking weed. Like weed has had its own properties with me. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
weed it calmed me down. It made me feel better. This, on the other hand, was like a super stimulant.
Yep.
Like, I want to feel good. I want to feel way better than I done felt all day. Versus I'm just trying to relax or ease my mind. And that was the contrast between the weed and the dope.
Were you able to function on it? Because when I smoke the crack-a-lacka, I get like super paranoid, and I barricaded myself in my apartment one time, and I start looking and peeping out the blind. Like I get really weird. What about you?
I would have never hung with you. I would have never smoked and got high with you. Ever. I hated people like that. I'm talking about the carpet surfers,
Yep,
the looking out the windows.
that's me.
Me, yeah. I'm trying to tell you, I hated people like that. No, I was not like that. I did get a certain level of paranoia for sure. I did find myself carpet surfing sometimes, but I would catch myself every time. Even
Yeah,
if I went and did it again 5 minutes later, I wouldn't just be down there. I wouldn't just be looking out the window. I would always be talking to myself like chill because I like to enjoy the feeling of it.
yeah.
So
Did you
nah,
get
I
real
was on
quiet?
something.
Did you get real quiet?
Uh, yes, I did get quiet. I was always trying to kick it with a female. I wasn't trying to kick it with a bunch of guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just sit down, chill. We gonna smoke and we just gonna chill. There ain't too much talking. I don't really care about none of that. You know what I mean?
I could
Yeah,
not
nah, I
chill
was
on that. I could. It made me
man.
so scared of everything. And I would hang
Yeah.
out with a guy like you are, and he was my neighbor, and he would just chill and be real quiet, and he wouldn't even want me to talk.
Right. Don't say nothing.
You're ruining it, Nicole. You're ruining it.
Right.
Okay.
Plus, I can't hear. I'm trying to listen to anything else that's going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't talk too much. I said that.
Okay. Okay. I just wanted to know how you reacted to it. Okay. Keep on going. I'm listening. So you tried it,
Yeah.
you liked it, and now you're getting hooked.
Now I'm hooked. Now I'm trying to do it on the slide. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm telling my mom and my sister that I'm buying weed and I ain't. You know what I mean? And then I'm moving from Youngstown to Columbus because I spent a lot of my life in Columbus. My dad been living in Columbus since I want to say 2011, 2012. So I'm alternating from Youngstown to Columbus. And when I go to my dad's, I'm ripping and running the streets and I'm trying to find it and getting familiar with the active addiction community. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like my face is becoming seen more and more and just kind of building a network of using buddies.
Yeah.
And I struggled with it for a long time. I think I moved back to Youngstown and I had just turned 23 and I had moved back to Youngstown. I had met my daughter's mother. And we have been talking over the phone. So, she like, if you come back to Youngstown, you ain't going nowhere, young boy. So I shot back to Youngstown. Me and her ended up getting together. And she was doing her own thing. Like her DOC wasn't my DOC, but she still had her own thing that she was doing.
Mm.
And I think that gave me room, that left me room. Like when she tried to go and sneak off to whatever she was doing, she was just helping me out because I needed her to get out my face while I go and try to do my one too. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And that was just a whole roller coaster of toxic relationship. You know what I mean?
I know what you
Plus
mean.
we both addicts. We don't do the same drugs, so we can't even sit here and kick it together. I can't be myself while I'm high. You can't be yourself while you high. And I don't know. We ended up staying together for a really long time, but it was just like a whirlwind of mistakes and me trying to get better. Like she ended up getting pregnant that year, and I went through the whole all right, when my baby born, this it. This is over with.
Yeah.
Like I ain't gonna bring no child in this world, and I'm sitting here messing with this shit right here, and then my daughter's born, and I'm still messing around, and first birthday, second birthday, and this is when I want to say after my daughter's first or second birthday is when I started actively trying to get into recovery. Like I started calling rehabs, like I knew I had an issue. Like I was starting to sell shit. I was starting to like steal, like manipulate more, like for real. Like I'm like the obsession, the mental aspect of the disease is the obsession. I started thinking about it all the time and this is all I want to do. Like this is just like I'm going to work planning my week.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
I
gonna get
know
my
what you're
check, I'm gonna
saying.
spend this much, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go over here, I'm gonna kick it here for about 2 hours, and a whole day has went past and I done spent everything and borrowed some and stole some and yeah, so this is where, in my
Did you?
opinion. Go
Were
ahead, I'm
you a
listening.
booster? Were you a booster?
Not at first. I didn't start boosting until a few years ago. I'm 32 now, so maybe 29.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always a driver. Like I was more of the robber. Like I'm coming in your house. Like I
Okay.
can't go to Walmart and steal. I can't go steal clothes. Like it was girls who did that. It was
Yeah.
female smokers. Like that was their forte. Mine was what he got. Like you sure he got it? Like don't make me go over here and he ain't got it type of thing.
Right.
Like I was the more brute force, aggressive, confrontational kind of thing like that. So yeah, that's what I was on.
Did you ever get in trouble with the law or go to prison or anything?
No, by the grace of God, I've been in
Really?
jail. I've been in the county multiple times, but never for drug related offenses, never for violent offenses. The only time I've been to the county, which was like 7 times,
Hmm.
but for like traffic violations, driving without a license. I
Man, you're
think one,
blessed.
I am blessed, and the one time I did go to jail for something that was drug related, but not criminally drug related, was in Columbus. I was at a men's shelter, and these people were driving around trying to get people to cash bad checks for them. Like
Uh,
they knew somebody who had a check machine and knew how to forge checks, and like it'd be like a $700 check, and I would get 150, and so I ended up getting caught for one of the checks that I cashed, which thank God ended up being brought back down to a misdemeanor. You know what I mean? So
Thank
like
God.
I don't have a felony on my record or anything like that. But yeah, no, I've never been in real serious trouble, which I should have many times over. Like for some of the things I did, I should still be locked up right now. You know what I mean? For
Oh,
some
I
of the
know what
things
you
that I
mean.
did. So
You are so
so
blessed.
about it.
I did prison time, and it has sucked. So I'm proud. You're lucky. God was watching over
Yes.
you. God was watching over
Yes.
you because having a felony really does hold you back a lot. So thank goodness you didn't get a felony. You know?
Yes, I did not get a felony. So you want me to continue with where I'm going?
Yeah.
All right, so like I said, this is my part of the story. This is where I get fired up.
Okay.
This is what
Cool.
I like to talk about, the recovery side of this. You feel me?
I
Now, so
feel
like
you.
I said, I did a lot of rehabs. I've dipped my toe into recovery and in Narcotics Anonymous a lot. Like I'm talking about the gift of desperation was so real. Like Lord, if you just get me out of this situation, I will never. Like I will do this and I will do that. And every single time I got into a rehab facility, I was concentrating on they call it social acceptability. You know what I mean? I
Like
wanted
being
to get
accepted
my
by
weight
other
back.
people and not being.
Right.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Right, like not looking like a crackhead. Like I wanted to get my weight back. I wanted to put some Jordans on my feet. I needed to get a job so I can have a little money in my pocket. Like I wanted my dad and them to stop cutting their eyes at me every time I come around. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
was trying to look good on the outside. And I was only working on the outside. Like every time, all the way up until literally this last time, in recovery and in a rehab facility, I've only been worried about my outside appearance and how I look and what I said. Somebody had asked me, was I ever in denial about my addiction? No. I always knew I had a problem. But I was always in denial about my recovery. I always thought that if I just look good, if I can get away from it for a little bit and get some power of choice back, then I would be okay. Then I should be strong enough to do this myself. I should have enough willpower to be able to resist the devil, resist temptation, resist that obsession, that call back. You
Right.
right, because when you're in recovery, there's like a voice, and it's tied to the memories of drug usage, of only the good times. You
Oh
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
Euphoric
this, like
recall.
right,
Euphoric
right.
recall.
Yes,
Suck
like
'em in.
so I always thought that I should have been strong enough myself to be able to resist that. You know what I mean? I never was. And I'm talking about from about 25 to 31, I did this back and forth tango, limbo, up and down, going to rehab, coming back up, doing my thing, getting a job, having about maybe 2 months clean, and then that in the back of my head, like, yeah, hey, got you about $400 right now. You could spend two, do your thing. And I'm telling you, I fell into that same trap for 6 years of I can do this myself, or I can only use this much and be cool. I don't need to spend the whole check. And it rock bottom. Like I just kept falling. I kept setting expectations for myself, which is okay. It's okay to set expectations for yourself if they're realistic, and two,
Right.
you're willing to put in the legitimate effort it takes to actually achieve some of these goals. So I always had the expectations. I never had the work ethic. I never had
Right.
the understanding of what it takes to actually achieve some of these sobriety goals. You know what I mean?
I know.
So,
Yeah. It's hard work. You have to put in, you have to be dedicated to changing your mindset and everything. They say you have to, you have to change. You don't have to, what do they say? You don't change one thing, you change everything. You have to change
right.
everything in your life. It's challenging when you're coming off drugs, and like you say, we our brain is still hijacked, and we have that obsession to use still, and so we have to go against that obsession to use, and go against those triggers, and go against that little voice that's saying, do you remember how good it feels? Come on, just take one. Nobody will know. Nobody will
The
know.
lows wasn't that low. It wasn't that bad when you ran out of money. It
Right.
wasn't that bad when you were stealing from your girl, or you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that voice definitely was like, it wasn't that bad. And you know we had a lot of fun. Like, come on. And you got money to spare. Like, come
Yep.
on. You done did this, you done did that. You done paid a little funky water bill or something. Or I done put half on an electric bill. Now I'm the man. Now my chest is out. Now I'm Hercules out here. Yeah. And I fell victim to that every single time. Every single time.
you,
So
were you working? Were you working while you were trying to get sober, or were you just trying to
I
get
was
sober?
always working. I've
Okay.
always had a job. I was always able to get clean. Now, every time I got a job, I lost a job.
Right, right,
But I always got a job. I always made me a little bit of money. Always. That wasn't the problem. The problem was when I got the money. Money is a huge trigger for me. Money has always been a huge trigger. And not because I was an active addict, but because I never learned the value of money. I've,
right.
I've never learned how to have it. I've learned how to make it. I've never learned how to hold it, save it. Like instant gratification was always a part of my personality because I never had it. I never had too much money. You know what I mean? Not like how I seen on TV or in the suburbs. I've never had money to whereas money wasn't like an object for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hmm.
So I always had something to prove. I always had to have like the nice shoes, or I just always had to look like I had money. But I never had money management skills. Never. So that played a crucial role in me being susceptible to spending the money as soon as I got it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like burn a hole in my pocket as soon as I get it. Like, I wish I would have $500 in my pocket, and I have nothing to buy. I will find something to buy. I don't care what it is. I will find a way to spend money because one, I earned it. Two, it's my money. And three, I deserve nice stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
all of those three things was just always in the back of my head. Like, get you some money. You can always make it again. You can always, yeah. I was always definitely just money management was just never a skill that I had ever. Yeah. So what was that? The money management. I always had a job. So what I finally found out though this time, because like I said, I spent 6 years going in and out the rooms, in and out of Narcotics Anonymous, in and out of a rehab, in and out of the mindset of now I got the gift of desperation. Now I don't need you guys anymore. Now I need you. Now I don't need you. Like I need the community. I need rehab. Now I done got back up here. Now I don't need you again. Like I went through this for 6 years, and my last time out, which was still 90 days ago. 90 days ago, I was in front of a BP. 90 days, 3 months ago,
Hmm.
back in early January, I was in front of a BP in Columbus, Ohio. And I had been out there panhandling, living out there like really homeless for 2.5 months. And I'm talking about full blown. I got covers in my book bag, same socks, same drawers. I'm sleeping behind the BP. I'm breaking into abandoned buildings, and I'm trying to find somewhere to sleep. And it's the dead of winter, and it's freezing outside.
Damn. Yeah, it's
So
cold.
this is where I just was. This is where I just was. What changed for me was, now I had all of the usual byproducts of active addiction. I had the guilt, the self-hatred, suicide attempts. I remember being in the hospital in November, and I'm trying to remember how I ended up there. I think I was in the shelter, and the ambulance was across the street, and they were talking to a guy. And I was talking to somebody, and I was like, yeah, man, I need a break. Like, I need to go and get into a treatment facility, yada, yada, yada. He was like, yo, if you go talk to the paramedics, tell them that you feel crazy, like you might harm yourself, they'll be forced to take you somewhere. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I did. And I ended up in the hospital. I'm coming down. So I'm coming down like a kamikaze off of the drugs. By
Mm-hmm.
the time I get to the hospital, the nurse puts an IV in my arm, and it's like connected. It's like two parts of the IV, so they can unscrew it and put something else in there, whatever. So she came and she took my blood and she gave me something, and when she walked out the room, I had unscrewed the IV, and I let the blood just fall. Like, I'm literally watching blood fall out of my arm onto the floor. I lay down and I'm ready to go to sleep.
Oh
Like, I lay down, I
no.
close my eyes, I'm trying to go to sleep, and I'm like, yes, this is what you deserve. This is what you deserve right here. Like, all the bad karma. If you think that you're going to play with your daughter like this, make promises to her and not be there, and she's gonna grow up with all the negative consequences of you being an addict, the embarrassment, you know what I'm saying, the disappointment. Like, this is what you need right here. You need to sit somewhere and die.
Yeah.
And that's where I was at. Thank God. Thank God that we're not in our right mind and we're not the smartest. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
blood coagulated. The blood coagulated in the IV. It thickened up
And
and it
it
stopped
blocked
running out
it.
my body. It
Yeah.
blocked it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
after 5 minutes, I'm like, I know I ain't dead yet. Like, I'm still conscious. Like, I know this ain't, I don't know what death is like, but I know this ain't it. This ain't what the
Yeah.
stories say. So that's when I knew that I had given up on my life. I was done. I had washed my hands of my life. I knew I wasn't worthy. I knew, not I believed. I knew for a fact then and there in that mindset that I didn't deserve to live. I didn't deserve to be a father. I didn't deserve anything good that might come out of me changing my life. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even want to give myself the opportunity again to do the rehabs, to mess it up, and to set myself up for the UWAP. Like, go up and go down, go up and go down. I was just tired of that whole cycle. I was tired of being a disappointment. I was tired of arguing with my mom and manipulating her out of $10, $20. My sister out of $10, $20, which they love me so much. They would cash at me the money. Like, here
Yeah.
go $10, get you in. And I would always say, yo, I need some weed. Can you give me some weed? Can you give me some weed? Thinking that I'm James Bond
Right.
and I'm Albert Einstein, and I'm just, you know what I'm saying?
Like they
Not
don't
seeing
know.
myself. Right. Like, they don't know. Like, this is the insanity of the disease. Like this is just, I couldn't see it. My perception was foggy. It was clouded. I didn't know anything from the outside looking in. All I knew was my mindset. All I knew was my perception of life. So this is when I knew that I really needed help. Like, this was the first time I had reverted back to talking to God. Now, I done
Mm.
talked to God here and there. I've grew up with the word in my blood.
Yeah.
So I've always had the memories. I've always had the knowledge of the Bible and how forgiveness works and how grace and mercy works. I just knew I didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't deserve this. I'm not even about to bother God if I ain't gonna do the right thing and get my life together. And you know what I'm saying? I ain't even about to waste his time.
Yeah, I was the same way. I was raised up in the church too. And whenever I started my addiction, I got really, really far away from God and I pushed him away because I felt unworthy. So I totally
Yeah.
understand.
So I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're okay. Keep going. I'm listening to you.
All right, so what I did was I finally talked to God after the whole 3 days in the mental or the psychiatric ward or whatever. Now, I still went back out and got high again, but I started talking to God every day. I'm like, listen, you see where I'm at. You know my potential. You know I'm a decent person. I'm empathetic when I'm not high, when I'm not in active addiction. I'm a good person.
Yeah.
Please help me. Like, please help me. Like, I talked to him every day before I got high, and especially when I was coming down. Like, please help me. If you give me the strength to call, because I would tell people like, yeah, I'm about to call, like I'm about to get into this rehab facility, like I'm about to do it, like we about to do this and do that. I was like, Lord, if you just help me, pick the phone up and make a phone call. I will put 120% into changing who I am. Now, just like I know the Bible inside and out, I know the big book inside and out. I know what it say. I know the whole objective of the 12 steps or how it's most efficient and effective. I know what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
I'm like, God, if you give me a chance, if you give me some of my will back, if you give me just a little bit of power of choice back, I will put every effort into into getting my life back, like getting my personality back. Like, I promise you. And he gave it to me, but he did it. Listen, I'm about to tell you how he did it though. I told you for 2.5 months before I got into treatment, I was homeless.
Mm-hmm.
Now I was in the shelter with my dude Mike, white guy Mike. And he had got kicked out of the shelter for 30 days, 45 days, something like that. Now, he had a different DOC than me. He did the other stuff, like the IV drugs.
Uh-huh.
And we was cool though. You know what I'm saying? Like he was a good dude, but he was soft. He was a sheep in the streets. And I knew that if he was out there by himself, that he would get taken advantage of, like he would get run over. And I'm like, this my friend. If anybody gonna take advantage of him, it's me. So I left the
Right.
shelter. this is how I ended up being on the streets, because I was with him. I could have been in the shelter ripping and running and still being in active addiction, but it was me and him out on the streets in front of the BP, huddled up in one cover behind the BP or in abandoned buildings, like getting high and then like snuggling up back to back in one
Yeah.
large blanket trying to stay warm.
Damn, and it's
And
cold
he
there in
said,
Ohio. It's cold
yes,
there.
it's cold. It's
You're
cold. It was
lucky you
cold.
didn't
I'm trying to
freeze to
tell
death,
you.
dude.
Well, I had another body. Like I said, like we was really out there thugging it. We
You
was
had
really out there
to, or
thugging
else
it.
you would freeze to death. Y'all had to do that.
Yes. Yes, we was like
Wow.
this close to cuddling. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, to survive. So we said to each other, when you get back into the shelter, like when your band is lifted, we're gonna go and we're gonna call. We talk about it every day. Talk about it every day. I'm talking to God. I'm like, Lord, please help me. This and that. Me and him talking about how when he get back in the shelter, we're gonna call a treatment facility. So he got back in. I got back in. I ended up getting kicked out of the shelter. He didn't. So once again, for about 4 or 5 days, I was out snuggling by myself this time, out in the cold. And like I told you, I asked God, I said, God, if you give me the strength to make this phone call, I will make this phone call and I will do what I'm supposed to do. So I'm corresponding with my boy Mike while he in the shelter. I'm like, look, is we still gonna do what we're supposed to do? New Year's came, like, yo, we gonna do what we're supposed to do. Yeah, in a couple days, The 5th came, yo, we still gonna do what we're supposed to do? No. The fifth come, I get kicked out, and I'm finally desperate enough. I'm finally lonely enough, and tired and cold enough to pick up the phone and call a treatment facility. So on January 10th, 2022, I called. They said they had a bed for me and that they'll be able to come and get me the very next day. I called my boy Mike. I'm like, look, Mike, call this number. We can both go to Dayton together. Boom, boom. Yeah, I'm going to call. I got you. They come and get me. My boy Mike never calls.
Oh
He
man.
never calls. January 11th, I get to Dayton and I proceed with my recovery and my treatment. Now, my claim date is January 27th, right? I spent 2
Tell
weeks
us what
in the
happened.
first rehab. Listen, I spent 2 weeks. I spent 2 weeks in the first rehab facility. And they had a rule that you cannot go behind the staff desk for any reason. Popcorn night, and this is a real story. You know, I'm way past excuses now.
Yeah.
I went behind the desk to take the salt because we had popcorn night. I seen the salt. It was right there. I went and grabbed it. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. They kicked me out. They kicked me out of the treatment facility because I went and I took the salt from behind.
That's the BS. Oh
Petty,
no. They
petty.
shouldn't have kicked you
But
out
I
for
was
that.
already on the roll.
You hear me? They shouldn't have kicked you out for that.
But look, of course not. But when you set your mind to something, when you set a goal, when you make a determination or a commitment that this is what I'm going to do, the universe has a way of testing you immediately.
I know
The
that's
moment
right.
you say that you're going to change your life, the moment you say that you're going to stop a behavior or set some boundaries, the universe immediately tests you. Immediately. So while I was in there 2 weeks, grateful that I was off to the streets and I was talking to God every day and I was writing in my journal, 2 weeks later, I get kicked out. Now I had to go back to Columbus. Now I didn't smoke crack anymore after that, but I was back at my dad's house
Mm-hmm.
where I was drinking and smoking weed. I immediately got back into another sober facility January 27th, which was the full circle. And that's where my personality transition started to happen. You know, so that's why my claim date is January 27th and not January 11th,
Gotcha.
which would have been like in numbers, like in social acceptance, that would have been a sweet clean date. 11122.
I
You know
know.
what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That would have been an
See,
awesome clean date.
I know somebody that had their clean date was like 2/22, and then it was 2022, so it was 2/2/2/2/2.
Right.
That is cool.
It would have been awesome. It would have been awesome. But it wasn't real. It wasn't the truth. So January 27th is when I started to. Well, January 11th is when I started to take my character development seriously. And usually in rehabs, like I'm always the center of attention. I always want to be seen. I'm smarter than everybody. You know, I could talk you out of this and out of that. Like I'm social. I always need to be in the middle of everything. I told God, if you let me in this door, I will leave the old me completely at the door. And that's exactly what I did. I walked in there. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't trying to be the center of attention. I wasn't focused on social acceptability. I got my head in a big book and I read, what do I need to do to change who I am? Because all recovery is, y'all, is you becoming somebody different. If we stay who we were in active addiction, that person that we was in active addiction will always be an active addict. Those beliefs, those values that I had, that personality that I had will always, if I was to regress right now back to that way of thinking and belief, it would be a matter of time before I would be back smoking.
Yeah.
Because who I was will always be an addict, an active addict. I had to change. I had to learn to slowly change my personality, my values, my beliefs, like literally things that I was instilled with growing up as a child.
Yeah.
I had to change. I had to change what I valued. I valued money. I valued looking good, nice clothes. I valued women on like a superficial level, like
Mm-hmm.
not trying to get to know you, not trying to like I'm just trying to bag and tag that for to put some notches under my belt. I valued instant gratification.
Right.
I didn't even know that the phrase delayed gratification existed because I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it and I wanted it now. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So I had to literally write all of this stuff down, like all my character defects, like everything I was guilty for, ashamed of. Like I had to go through a whole list and find out how I'm going to change who I was into who I want to become. And that's where it started. It started in that rehab January, officially January 27th, 2022 is when I really got on the road to recovery. And sometime in between there and now, I fell in love with the recovery community. I've always understood and appreciated like Narcotics Anonymous, like the groups,
Yeah.
and how it can relieve pressure, emotional pressure off by talking to people. But my passion has never been this lit before. Somewhere from January 27th to now, I fell head over heels in love with the process, with other addicts, active and recovering, with the steps, with meetings, with the community. Like I literally changed how I viewed everything, and I started practicing humility. And all humility is downplaying one's own importance. That's like the real definition of humility is downplaying one's own importance, not downplaying my value, but downplaying what I feel like I'm important to the world. Like that grandiose kind of
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
narcissistic, egotistical kind of thing. And I had to practice that every single day. Every single day. And that's what led me. Now that's not what led me to TikTok.
Yeah.
My
That's what I want
sister
to
here
know.
in
How did you get to TikTok?
my sister Lola Love, which is here, she's here in the rooms. I was talking to her one day because I've always been a big writer. I had journals, like I said, I did a practice step for, like writing has always been one of my natural talents. So I was talking to my sister one day, and I don't know what made her think about it. I don't know what made her bring it up. She was just like, you ever had a TikTok or do you have a TikTok? Like you got a really good story, Fabe. Like you should tell people your story and like it's a bunch of people on TikTok who really do this recovery thing.
Yep.
And I was like, no, I didn't never like I had a TikTok, but all I was watching was like booty videos. Like so like that's all I was interacting with on I didn't even know that the recovery community existed
Yeah.
until I typed in recovery, and I'm telling you, it hit me like the drug did.
Yep.
Like this community, this TikTok platform, like literally like from the first time I hit it, I got addicted to it just like a true addict. And
Yep.
I'm telling you, I've been in love. I've been entangled, enamored,
It's
just
fun.
smitten by this community. It
It's
is. It
fun
really
to be
is.
here and to be able to connect with each other. Like you're in another state, and here we are listening to you share your story. Like that is so inspiring to me. That that turns me on, but like in a good way. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. That's
I
what I'm
get
saying.
so on fire and passionate, and I love it. Like this is my favorite thing to do is hear people's stories.
Yes, yes. And be able to pour in to the community. Be able to step outside myself with service work and empathize with somebody else who I might be having a good day today. I might not be dealing with the old me and my disease of addiction. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
today might be a good day for me, but I see somebody else is. Let me pour into them. Let them know that one, you're worth being loved. Two, that this shit is hard, but you're built for this. Like we literally, as human beings, are built for resistance, for opposition, for like opposition, like somebody coming against us and us overcoming and persevering. We're literally built to do this, but the social aspect of it is super important, and the encouragement that you get from people, the understanding, the connection of you and me are the same. Like we did the same dirt. Like we both stole our mama TVs. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like you and now you're up there, you're over there, and your life is a little better than it was. Like I know that I can do that. Like that's what really turns me on is the service work, the selflessness of helping somebody else, because I know what it feels like every day. Like I lean on my community, my support system every day. And like 5 or 6 of my best friends now in recovery, I met on TikTok, and I don't even talk to them too much on TikTok. Like I'm talking about phone numbers, Snapchat group chats, like recovery support chats. Like TikTok has literally opened up my world, gave me a whole new arsenal and of weapons and recovery and assets, allies to help me battle and combat the disease of addiction. It's crazy.
Heck yeah, man.
It's crazy.
I'm grateful for it. Isn't it
I'm
awesome?
so grateful.
Yeah,
I'm
I totally
so
agree.
grateful.
Dude, I didn't know that you got sober in January. I didn't even know when your sobriety date was, honestly. So, how do you feel like having over 90 days sober? Like, are you feeling confident? Do you feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do I say this? Like, what's your next step?
I got you.
What's on
I
what's
got
the
you.
mission for you? Yeah,
My mission, like I said, from January 27th to now, to today I have 61 days.
gotcha.
That's of sobriety, no mood or mind altering substances in my body. But the progression, what I've learned and adopted and applied to my life is so much more than 60 days. Now, humility and gratitude is on my list, is on my plate every single day. Like I know what 3 months clean feels like. I know what 6 months clean feels like to me. And I know where my mindset would be at those times. I would be bigger than the message. I would be bigger than the program. Now I don't need you anymore. I understand the mistakes that I made before.
Yep.
I'm talking about every single one of them. Every one of them. Now, what I do to combat that is I know I need help. I don't care if you got 10 years clean, 20 years clean. I've talked to them all. And they all say you got to treat your recovery like that very first day, when the gift of desperation was the most potent. And that's what I take into my recovery every day. My purpose now, since I fell in love with the addict, like literally fell in love with the community, my purpose is to do anything I can to pour love, empowerment, and encouragement, support. Like that's my mission every day. Not just Sundays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Not just when I feel like it or I'm in a good mood. Like this is like insulin for me. Like
Yeah.
if you got diabetes, you gotta take your insulin every single day. That's what I do. I make sure I reach out to my community. There's four principles that I focus on: community, communication, service work, and humility. As long as I can keep them every single day, as long as I can apply them every single day in any area of like my community, like whatever I'm doing, as long as I can step outside myself, reach out to my community, make sure that my sober support network, like my inner circle, is full of people who just as serious as me.
Yep.
I can seek counsel from them. I can get advice from them. Like I can trust them with my fears, my challenges, and my struggles, and they not manipulate me or tainted in any kind of way. And as long as I stay humble I know I'm confident, not in me, but I'm confident in the steps. I'm confident in the principles of recovery. And as long as I lean on that and I stay focused on that, like I'll be fine. Like I know that.
True that.
Now I got a gift. Go ahead, I'm listening, boo.
I want to ask you, if you could tell one person that was watching this video right now that's struggling, that is out there, that's smoking crack, that feels like there's no way out, what would you tell that person?
I love this part. I love this part. I love this part right here because now I get to listen. Listen, it's hard. Addiction is hard. Recovery is hard. But you got to pick which hard that you want to do. If you listening to me, if you under the sound of my voice, if you on the fence about this, if you don't feel encouraged or you don't feel like you got enough strength to do it, listen to me. One, I need you to know that you are loved by somebody. And that somebody is me. But there are millions of people. There's a whole community waiting to encourage you, waiting to love you, waiting for you to make the hard decision, the hard sacrifice to step outside yourself and make a call to a treatment facility, to a whatever. Get out of the environment that you're in, especially if you're not strong enough to resist the people, places, and things, which none of us really are. But I promise you, recovery has some shit for your ass. I'm telling you, we all know the consequences of active addiction. We
Right.
all know that. But I promise you, the promises of recovery is more than we could ever fully grasp in that mindset that you're in right now. But all you need to know is that you're worth being loved. And I promise you, it gets easy. I mean, it don't get easier, it gets better.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is make that tough decision, make that tough sacrifice to step outside yourself and get you some help. And I promise you, recovery got something for you. He got people for you. It got support for you. It got love for you. I promise you, you don't got to do this alone, but you do got to make that first step. You do got to make that decision by yourself. That's what you do got to do. So that's what I would say.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, what else did you I know I cut you off, but I had to ask you that because every guest I have on, I ask them that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What else? What else did I want to say? I don't know. Like I ain't gave a detailed description of my life ever.
I'm proud
Like
of
on
you.
my
You did
birthday,
good.
I know. I was so nervous.
I could
Listen,
tell you
I
were
do this
nervous at
every
the
day.
beginning. A little bit.
I go live, but listen, I go live every day. I talk to my community every day. I uplift and pour in every day. But it's like on an official level almost because I got invited on my birthday last week to be the guest speaker at an NA meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've watched dozens of tapes, NA speakers. Like I know how the format is supposed to go. But when I gave my lead, it was nothing like this. I was nervous. I was sweating. I spoke for about 10 minutes and that was it. And I felt so depressed and down and like I just didn't do well. But all my friends and supporters like, you did well. So when you asked me to come and do the same thing, of course I started feeling that same, like, man, I might not get my message. Like I'm too focused on being official that I'll forget that I do this. I speak to people. Like I love people and love on people. So I just had to, shake off a little. I just had to shake off that. I don't know what it is, but like
And
this is what I do. This is my purpose.
it's good to have me here to prompt you as you're going. Like you were going really good, but then when I come in, I ask a question and get some more thoughts going in your head. That it helps
Yes,
me.
yes,
You know what I mean? And then now that you're more
yes.
comfortable, we can do live streams together where we talk about triggers. We can talk about relapse prevention together. We can talk about, you know, humility, gratitude, all kinds of stuff together. Now that you see how I am, you know what I mean?
Right. And I'm telling you, at first I was a little skeptical about you. I didn't know I had to do my own research, but I came into some of your lives and I just listen to you talk. I just listen to you engage with your viewers, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the real deal right here. Like everything she's going through is real. This ain't no clout thing for me, because like that's my biggest thing. Like, I'm not on here trying to get a bunch of followers so that I can have a platform of just being able to open up my mouth and just say stuff to people. Like, I literally only care about carrying the message to the addict who still suffers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I got that vibe from you. Like, I got that from you. So
it it hurts my heart that I know that you probably heard or heard bad things about me or got a bad first impression because you saw it. It makes me sad because there's other people who they get that too, because there's people online, because I've grown my following kind of quickly from 2020 to 2021. It kind of went really quickly, that I've gotten a lot of hate. But I'm telling you, I love people and I just want to help people. Like, I'm not here to harm anybody. I worked so hard to
right,
get to where I'm at. I worked so hard to get the job that I have working for Dr. B, and all the things that I do. Like, and I did it authentically and honestly, So I'm glad that you gave me a chance. Thank you for giving me a chance and coming in and listening, because a lot of people don't do that. They just assume and they just write me off, and I will be your biggest cheerleader. I will be behind you. I will fucking, like, this video right now, I'm putting it on my YouTube channel. You're going to be on my Instagram page. You're going to be on all my TikTok channels, because I want people to be able to find you and I want people to hear your story. I'm all about lifting people up that are coming in and sharing their stuff and helping them. And so I just want to thank you for actually coming into my lives and listening to me and giving me a chance, um, because I'm just like you. You know how you said you were always trying to find social acceptability. Honey, I was the same way. I just want to be liked. I just want to be accepted. I just want to fit in. I just want to be a part of, just like other people do. And so I
right.
don't mean to get emotional, but I really appreciate
That's
you
all right, boo.
for using your own critical thinking and coming in and listening and getting to know me a little. I appreciate that. And I will be loyal to you and have your back forever. I will, like, lift you up and, like, shout you out and post you all over my shit and have you on the channel again, because that's what I love to do. I love to hear people's stories to help other people. So thank you. It means a lot to me.
You were this was amazing. Like, it honestly was. Like, you really made me feel comfortable. And like I said, the air of authenticity that I get from you, I believe everything that you're saying, and I got your back now. Like how you feel about me is how I feel about you now. Like, I got you any way that I can be of service, especially when it comes to the message of recovery and pouring into the community. Like, I'm there. I'm all the way there.
You know what I want to do? I want to get together, like, maybe like two of us, two girls and two of you guys, and we can do like because I think we can do four people at the same time on here, where we do like a live and we answer questions from the audience. Like, the guys can ask you guys questions, the girls can ask us questions, and we can talk. I want to talk about different things that you guys deal with in recovery that are different than what
Right,
us girls deal with in recovery. I also want to
right.
do a whole thing on sober sex and relationships. You know what I'm saying?
I
Because
need that class. Hey, don't put me on that panel. I need to be the audience. Listen, I need to be in that audience because, baby, I still need some. I'm still early, so I'm still dealing with all my emotions. But yes, I need to be in that audience, boo.
it
Please don't
is
put me on
hard
that panel.
work. Me and my husband got sober together. We got sober at the same time. And when we got sober, I
Yeah,
remember thinking, because I always heard that when you get sober with your significant other, that they could fall out of love with you because you'll change and you'll be a different person. And I can remember thinking, oh my God, my husband's going to fall out of love with me, and he's not going to love me anymore when we get sober, and we're going to lose each other and break up
right.
and all this stuff. And I'm telling you this, like, I put in so much work to communicate my feelings to my husband now that I'm sober, so that doesn't happen. And I had to learn to like get out of my own way. Like this person, he loves me. He loves me, and I am good enough, and I'm not fat and ugly, and I'm not a loser.
Right.
He chose me. You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
I love talking about relationships and recovery because it's hard freaking work, dude. Hard work.
Oh man.
I love you
Them
so
them
much.
Cadillac problems. I
I'm
love you.
I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you for coming on here. Like I just want you to know, like it means so much to me that you came on, and I want you to come on again though. I know you said you had 60 days. I want you to come on again when you hit your 90 days. Then I want you to come on when you hit your 6 months. Then I want you to come on when you hit your year. Dude, when you hit your year, we'll throw a fucking party for you on my YouTube channel. And it'll be off the
All
fucking
right
chain.
now.
Okay? I'm serious.
Yes, yes.
I'm serious.
Anytime. Hit me anytime, anytime. Like I'm down. I'm
And I'm
down.
going to send you my cell phone number because this is what I want you to do. I want you to text me the link to your TikTok channel. And if you have any other social medias, I want you to send me all the links to that because I'm going to upload you onto my YouTube channel right now after we end this live. And I want all my people from over there to be able to find you where you're at. Okay. So after this, I'm going to hang up with you, send you my number, send me your links, and then I'm going to put you up on the YouTube channel. And I'll need you to send me a picture because I'm going to make a thumbnail for the YouTube channel.
All right,
This
sweet. I
is
got you. I
official.
got you.
It's official.
For sure. Thank you so much, Nicole. You are absolutely wonderful, man. Honestly, I really appreciate what you're doing for the community. Like, cause you're doing what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to pour into the community. I'm just trying to encourage everybody because I know I've been there. Like, I know what the bottom feel like. I know what sleeping outside feel like. I know what not being able to get a shower feel like, and I don't want anybody else to have to deal with that or to think that because that's what they're experiencing that they don't deserve something better. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yes. I know what
Yeah.
you mean. I'm always here to support you in spreading your message. Okay. Um, I'll let you get off here now. I'm gonna message you. I'm serious. Text
Okay.
me your links and everything, and I will send you the video when I upload it on YouTube. Okay.
All right, sweet. All I got is a TikTok for now. We're in the process, me and my buddy, of starting a podcast. So we don't even have all of that together now. But
It's easy. I
I'll
can
definitely
help you with all. I work in social media marketing, so I can help
do
you with
you.
anything that you need help with.
Okay. All right then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a
I'm telling
definitely
you, I'm
correspond with
serious.
you.
Ask
I
Ryan. I will
believe
teach
you.
you. I will help you. I will help you. I can put you on to a free place that you can start doing your podcast from. You can eat. I'll show you. I'll show you. I'm going to send
All
you my
right.
phone
All right.
number. Y'all, please go follow Rick right now. Run to his channel and go follow him. Let's keep him on the fucking straight and narrow and lift him up and push him through these fucking 60, 90, 6 months a year, okay? All right. I love you.
All right, y'all. Recover out loud. I love all y'all.
Be good. Hey, that was a good fucking live, y'all. That was a good live. Wreck Addy, man, thanks for coming on and sharing your fucking story, man. And I really appreciate it. I'm gonna say it one more time, you man. Thank you for fucking coming to my channel and actually getting to know me. Thanks for giving me a chance. Anybody that came in here while we were live that has, seen videos floating around about me or whatever, and you actually came in here to give us a chance and to listen to the story and to be a part of the recovery that we're doing on here on these live streams. Thank you. I appreciate you guys. And y'all, please go follow Rec. He did amazing. It's nerve wracking when you're coming on and you're telling your whole story in front of a lot of people. And I'm super duper happy with how it turned out. So sorry, I got indigestion or something. I am going to download this video right now, you guys, and get it uploaded onto my YouTube channel. So if you didn't get to watch it all the way through, you're going to be able to watch it on the YouTube channel. I love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night, everybody.